Hi, favored ones. Welcome to Soul Talk. So today's our season ender, and our guest for today is someone special because he's been here with us every year since I started Soul Talk back in 2020. But the one thing that I love about Noel is that kasi nakilala ko siya through what's this workshop with Cassie Pajarillo. Um, Iba talaga yung stages of journey through life. And, you never know. Sometimes you're really up, but then sometimes you go down. But then it's temporary. It's a temporary down. Sooner or later, you'll go back up again. So parang level up lang. Every time we go down, it's really a chance. It's really an opportunity to grow more. Not just a person, but also professionally in the careers that we have chosen. So Noel is here with us again. I knew him as a relationship builder. But let's see where he is right now in his journey. I'm sure that being a relationship builder is still part of him, even if,
Mhm.
wherever he is right now. But let's get to know Noel once again, get updates and catch up with him. And of course, welcome him here. So, hi Noel.
Hello, Shell. How are you?
I'm good, really, really good.
That's great. Yeah. So
Since
thank you.
Oo,
Sorry, go ahead.
since 2020 ang laki rin ng jump ko. So excited ako sa mga kwento mo.
Yeah, so that's why it's been, I don't know, surprising that it's more than 3 years actually, from 2020. And right now we are here because of your season ender. So it's a privilege to be invited for the show. And yes, I totally agree no na parang ang dami nating pinagdaanan for the past years. Especially in my case as well, no? Ang dami ko ding pinagdaanan. From pandemic, I'm not sure if we call this post-pandemic, but it's always, there's always learning, no? Especially on my case as well.
Yes, and one thing na hindi ko rin nasabi, Noel is
Mm.
also my parang partner collaborator with New Earth Wellness. So
Yes.
that's one of the major reasons why he's also here. Kasi parang sabi ko,
Mhm.
ang galing-galing ni Noel. I want to talk to him again. I really believe that there would be something inspirational and motivational that he has to share to. So,
Mhm.
kaya siya nandito. Kasi you all know naman, di ba, na journey ko rin ito. With every guest that I invite, they're all part of my journey because they're also being sent my way to help me. And of course, yung effect nun is also to help my community. Kasi yung journeys
Yeah.
natin, in some ways, it's also parallel.
Shall I think I just want to catch what you said no about new earth wellness no, so I think that's something that you're currently working on as well with the whole team. um I think that's just timely because ever since nagbabasa din ako no, and there was this one lady, her name is Dolores Cannon, and that's where I think I was able to learn about the new earth that she was telling. Dolores is a person, but she I think has passed away no last year. What she have done was that she's what do you call that person again who helps people like in a trance mode? She let the person
Um,
sleep and then hypnotherapist.
Oo,
Yeah,
hypnotherapist. Mm-mm.
she is a clinical hypnotherapist, and every time she has patients no come to her clinic or come to her practice, most of these patients that she have would always talk during their trance state about a new earth that's coming to our present earth no. So what she did was she parang documented all of those no, and then parang I think the summary is that people will be awakened according to her, and people will actually walk with their truth no, so that we all as a humanity will be going towards a new earth. So parang na-excite ako that time no, na parang ano ba to? What, like what does a new earth mean? Well, it is will this mean physical like separation of the old earth versus the new earth, or will this be a separation of people having different vibrations, no? Because again, if we go back 2020 going up to now, like I feel that there are people that I've lost along the journey as well. So maybe that's because my energy or my vibration have changed and their vibration have changed. So that's why you don't really see them, you don't interact with them often. So
Mm-mm.
that's why even up to now I'm still like waiting for that wisdom, no? Like what does a new earth mean? But it sounds very exciting, Shell.
Yeah. Actually, kaya rin ako na-excite when Julie is the brainchild of New Earth Wellness.
Mhm.
Um, because I've also been reading and hearing about it. And I know that it's also a transition. Hindi siya yung parang pagising mo, New Earth na. Hindi ganun.
Yeah.
It's everyone, all of us are changing, transforming so that our vibration would be aligned to the New Earth. Kasi
Mm.
hindi naman pwede bigla-bigla na papasok ka agad sa bagong frequency if we're not used to it. So in the
Mm.
past years, even I have been going through a lot of transformations. And of course, the transformation, it sounds so good, but in reality, we go through different situations. And
Yeah.
sometimes those situations could really be so hard
Yes.
back then.
Yes.
Pero pag naranasan mo na when it's already over, on hindsight, that's when you would see na it wasn't as hard as I originally thought it was. But
Mm.
akala lang ng mind, ganun ka-hard. Pero once you actually took the first step, tuloy-tuloy na eh.
Yeah.
Iga-guide ka na, tuloy-tuloy. Unless, of course, every step may resistance, then that's doubly hard. But,
Yeah.
when you let go of the resistance, then mas smooth eh, yung transition. And,
Mm.
with me, I personally believe that my vibration right now, it's already aligned to the new earth. And it's just a matter
Mhm.
of time for all the rest of humanity to raise their vibration as well.
Yeah.
Oo.
So Shell, I agree as well with you na ang hirap, no, when we talk about transformation. Like if I go back 2020, that time, I'm thinking as well that I'll be on the path as well of transformation. Pero if you just say that, parang it's so easy, no? Pero once you really uh, took the accountability to undergo the process, ang hirap talaga. There were times na parang umiiyak na talaga ako kasi it's just so difficult. And most of these journeys, no, hinihit ka talaga kung saan ka pinaka-weak. 'Di ba?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
parang, yeah, kung saan talaga ako, I mean, career-wise, I think I'm good, pero feeling ko ang journey with me is more on really knowing myself and on the relationship side as well. Because ever since, I think I'm taking good care of myself when it comes to my career. But there are some instances I think that I also have forgotten about relationship. And that's just so ironic that I was talking about relationship building, di ba?
Oo.
But 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 when it comes to intimacy or developing intimacy with someone, that's something probably that I never focused before because I have a different kind of belief on that one. Because I mean, we were raised as a kid, no, ng parents ko na mag-aral kayong mabuti right after school, then that's a time you can like go into a relationship or something. So parang I think that has a good intention. Pero I think sa subconscious ko, the effect was, okay, don't really go into a relationship because it might ruin you. So there's like a red flag right away
Oh.
associated with that relationship.
Mm,
Bakit?
mm, mm.
So bakit kailangan kong
Oo,
gawin
bakit
ko right after
bakit
school?
mutually exclusive?
Exactly. Bakit hindi ko puwede 'tong i-mix while I'm still in school, and all of that. So, automatic, parang sa subconscious ko pala na, okay, once you're not settled yet with your career, 'wag mo munang don't really touch, with
Mm.
it. So that's why every time, for example, I would nag-transition to a career, hindi ako nagre-really, I never really start a relationship or pursue someone because at the back of my mind pala parang may ganung separation right away. Na that can be changed actually because once you were able to choose like someone that you can really trust and depend, a relationship is something that can actually fuel you to become much more better, go out into the world and go back again to the relationship that can nurture you. 'Di ba? O ngayon ko lang 'to na-realize while
Oo.
we're talking, no? Yeah.
Binigay sa'yo yung insight. So
Yeah.
that's also the reason why you're in relationship building to begin with, because you saw, alam mo na, even without actually knowing that, that's a pivotal moment in your life. Parang
Yeah.
alam na ng soul mo from the beginning that relationship will be something very important, an
I
important
feel
aspect in every part of your life, not just in career.
yes. Yeah, I feel that although sometimes there's this imposter syndrome
Mm-mm.
in myself, that's why sometimes I don't really mention about relationship building and all of that because I feel so small when relationship building is being like mentioned kasi how will I associate with that something that I feel
Mm-mm.
I'm not really so master. Like I feel that I'm so assuming to associate myself with that word because I did not even like um learn about it or really get educated about it. Pero I just felt kasi in my journey na it really starts first with yourself. You really have to be comfortable who you are before you can really go out into the world. And in my case, it was a very challenging process of loving yourself. Ang dami talagang issues. Like, I mean, the reason why probably I was not also having relationship during university years was first, my parents also told me that you have to go to school, mga ganyan. And then there are issues as well about myself. I mean, I'm a gay person. I can happily say right now that I'm really so comfortable with who I am as a person, my sexuality. I have like practices that would really honor who I am. But there was a lot of shame during like university years about who I am, and that's the reason probably I stopped reaching out and connecting to others because of that shame as well within myself.
Alam mo, nakaka-relate ako diyan. Kasi,
Mm,
when you said that there was a part of you that really couldn't embrace the relationship builder part of
mhm.
you, it's because there's still something inside that's to be resolved. That I also went through that in my
Yeah,
journey. Um, Nandiyan na, kasi ito na, binibigay na yung PhD, and then the teaching jobs is coming, 'di ba? It's here
right.
already. But then, at the start, I also had a difficulty accepting it and embracing it.
Mm,
That's why there's like hindi siya aligned, fully aligned. Kasi alam na ng angels, alam na ni God, ito yung path mo. So, inaayos na nila, 'di ba, for you.
yeah.
So that whatever is in front of you, you work on it, you deal with it, 'di ba? Pero nakikita ko na, wait, me, a teacher? Wait, teka,
Mhm,
PhD? I don't trust myself na, 'di ba? Hindi, ganun ba ako katalino to actually step into this, into this field? So there
mhm.
there was also that, yung trust sa sarili and yung doubt sa sarili nandiyan, the imposter syndrome, it's true.
Right.
But right now you have accepted, that part of you that's the most important. So
Yeah.
mas maganda, 'di ba? And I could also say that recently rin, a few months back, I also was able to embrace the role na yung binibigay sa akin. So alam
Mhm,
ko na dahil meron ng acceptance and there's already, that part where I welcome it with, you know, with talagang welcome it with open heart.
Yeah.
Doon ko nakita na, okay, this is already the path towards mastery.
Mm.
That's why
Yeah.
when I invited you and you asked me, ano yung topic? It's mastery.
Yeah. So that's
Because
why when I heard right away, gosh, mastery shell, I think I'm not really the best person about that. But you know what? I think mastery is like an end state, no? But I think
mm-mm,
mastery is also a continuous state all the time. It's a
mm-mm,
decision you're making every time you wake up in the morning that, yeah, I think there's something that I still need to work on. So mastery sometimes can be a very big word, but I think on an everyday basis, it's your minor or that small one-step decisions that you're making to make yourself a little bit much more better. And I think that's the same process for me. And I felt when we are talking about mastery, again, it's a big word, and sometimes, in not really sometimes, even up to now, it's difficult for me to associate myself when it comes to mastery. But if we change the word or the phrases a little bit, like mastery might mean as well like having that small steps every day so that you make yourself better. I think I will say yes to that because I
mm-mm.
feel that I'm that person. But on that path of mastery, I think it's very important still to have tools. And in my case, meditation really help a lot. Again, meditation, when we say, it's a big word, no? But but through the process, I think, and through yourself really finding different tools that really suits you, just in my case, meditation helped me a lot because it parang it stop that's like my way of stopping my rational brain to stop a little bit and let the heart as well speak. And I think from there, I'm guided as well on what to do. There will be like thoughts that will come to my mind that help me as well go back to who I am and to undergo the process again of the path to mastery.
Kasi talagang ano, no, yung process, it's reshaping us.
Mm,
Really, it's molding us to be that greater version of ourselves, that improved version of ourselves.
right.
And I agree, most of the time it's a bit difficult
Yeah.
kasi 'di ba, it really is. Um, but you're also right that along the path, along the process, we are being given a lot of tools. That's why
Mm,
'di ba yung sinasabi nila na level up or yung growth, it's not just going up vertically. It's also expanding yourself with tools horizontally because
right.
your resources also gets bigger. And
Mm,
as you kaya yung level up, it's not just again vertical up, but it's also
mm,
horizontal widening of all resources. That includes skill sets. Um, but with meditation, it
mm,
also it's true. I agree. With me, it allows me to get to know me better, to really see what's inside my heart, and at the same time, I also use it as a tool to transcend more and to reach the level of divinity where I meet God face to face.
right. Mm-hmm.
That's what meditation is for me. Siguro pag tinanong ako, it's like prayer. But
Yeah.
our definition kasi of a word can be different and our experiences could also be a bit different, but there
Mm,
are commonalities. But what's important is that we find our real selves in that
mm.
in that practice. So ako yun yung yun yung belief ko doon.
I agree, Shell. Yeah, yeah. Meditation can also be a prayer, and I also felt that every time I do meditate, it's my prayer time. So there, I think it works with different folks as well. Depende na. It just really depend on what words or what like term will they use, no, as long as you put yourself, I think, in a relaxed state where you communicate with your inner self, your God, or whoever that you're attaching into. Shall the second one, I think, on this path to transformational change, no, I think I would love to use that word, because sometimes change is just, the usual change, but
Yeah.
the important would be the transformational change, right? Like, you can say that, yeah, I was different yesterday compared to today, and I'm way better today versus yesterday. That's where transformational change happened. And in my case, I don't want as well to encourage like pain or discomfort, but actually the emotion called pain or discomfort also help. Like in my case, very recently, I think beginning of the year, there was this situation where I just felt like emotional pain with my relationship, and I think that helped me to like trigger that, yeah, I think I really need to like put focus on this anymore, because this cannot just go on forever. And I think there's one known person who said, but I can't remember anymore, who said that change happens when the pain of change is way stronger, or it's too painful compared to the change itself. Or I mean, the pain. So when you, sorry, the pain of staying with your current situation is much more painful compared to the change itself. Then that's where change can happen, which I totally agree. I've experienced that actually. Nasabi ko, if I stay with this current situation, I feel more pain compared to thinking of the change itself or the process of change. So perhaps my body and myself is just telling me that it pushes me already that, Noel, you really have to go out of your comfort zones now, because it's really high time.
Mm-mm.
So I think pain or discomfort also helps with the transformational change or process.
Oo.
What do you think?
Kasi it's actually I agree to that. Kasi if we're comfortable, we won't change anymore because it's so
Mm,
comfortable, 'di ba? But when the comfort becomes discomfort na,
mm.
tapos pain na talaga, painful na yung discomfort na yun, would you stay
Yeah.
there? Of course not.
Mm-mm.
You will make that decision to leave that uncomfortable space. And
Yeah.
that's the opportunity for growth. So when you're in pain, it's a lot of times it's a wake up call.
Right.
It's like the universe shaking you, telling you magbago na. Change
Mm-hmm.
has to happen. You cannot stay there anymore. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to stay there or do you want to liberate yourself out of that situation? Because you can always do so. But with what Noel has said, once you made that leap, hindi pala ganun kasakit as what
Mm,
you actually thought it to be.
right. And Shell, on that process na, no, syempre nag-decide ka na,
Mm-mm.
you'll be jumping na to the cliff. This is the time na ang dami na, there will be a lot of things that will happen, no? And I think for me as well is that I'm praying all the time for grace and kindness to myself, which I think is very important. You need to remind yourself to do the self-soothing, no, because it starts again with yourself, and then you reach out as well to the people that can help you self-soothe, because the change is really ano parang it really pushes you. There's a lot of friction that sometimes you will get angry with yourself, or you get frustrated with yourself, no. That's why it's important as well to do self-soothing, like get a massage, if there's really a need for a massage, or go for a walk, like very very simple things, or go out and enjoy your ice cream, for example, once in a while.
Yeah,
uh,
that's
talk
true.
talk to a friend, or really have a very good long shower. Buy like a body soap that you really like smelling, and like very simple stuff that can soothe you, because that change or that transformation is just so intense.
Oo, actually, I want to pick up what you said earlier na be kind to yourself. Kasi when you
Mhm.
get frustrated, that's like taking two steps back sa progress mo. Parang
Yeah.
mag-ano eh, pag frustrated ka or angry ka with yourself, you're regressing a bit. So,
Mhm.
be kind to yourself. When you're kind, you're still forward. You're still
Yeah.
moving forward. You're not in the same space. And that's a lot of help when you actually are kind to yourself, when you love yourself, when you, as Noel said, self-soothe, because you can always do so.
Mhm.
Even the littlest or the smallest thing can make you really happy despite, the difficulty of change. Kasi unknown
Yeah.
pa siya eh, di ba? So everything that's unknown, it's it's difficult. We don't like
Mhm.
the unknown. The tendency of the mind is that gusto natin alam na natin, gusto natin in control. But
Yeah.
that really, a lot of things in our lives are not controllable. So we just have to learn to be comfortable with that um discomfort.
Yeah. Yun. And I think sa case ko din, sa experience ko after that, no, self-soothing. So somehow, that change will be integrated within yourself. That's the time I think that you have created that awareness, and then tools are very important. And once you have that awareness to yourself, I think you'll have that grace as well to understand people better, because now you've developed something within yourself. Parang yung ano mo, yung threshold mo for people, no, is also expanding.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
That's
Like
true.
in like in my case, for example, I'm reading a book right now about attachment model,
Mm,
like how are we as mature individuals attached to people, especially with our intimate relationship. Because before, um parang parang it's difficult for me sometimes, because in my case, even sa relationship, I want as well facts. Parang gusto kong malaman kung ano ba talaga yung totoo muna. Parang kasi nadaanan ko na din dati yun, na parang okay, trust your gut and mga ganyan, di ba? Pero parang gusto ko din, like, what's the science really behind this?
mhm,
Para I can really understand, and I
mhm,
can really know how to respond properly with someone that I will pursue. So I think it's a gift again. If you ask for it, then there will just be a way that the universe, God, or whoever you call it, will bring an
mhm,
answer to you. And I was able to bump with this book called Attach, and it talks about like how we as a mature people get attached to a specific person that we like or love, but it all boils down to our attachment when we
mhm,
are being reared, when we are like 1 to 3 years old, when we cannot really speak and we just cry. So there are people who can be securely attached. There are people who might be distant or avoidant. There are anxious people, and there are disorganized, or both
mm,
anxious and distant at the same time.
mm,
So I think that really helped me as well, that to realize that it's not really my fault that I'm this, because I was raised, for example, by parents at that time who might not be aware as well of the rearing and the effect of child rearing, no,
mhm,
to adults. But I think that was very important for me to realize as well. And if I will have kids as well in the future, that's something I think that I wanna make sure that if a baby cry, no, you really wanna hold it, no, para at least that baby feels that, yeah, because that's the time that the baby learns about attachment model, right? They
mm,
sense you, they feel you, they can't talk pa, But these are, I think, facts that really help me to understand why people are really reacting this way and how can I better respond as well. Because I now know who I am, and then I can now provide space for other people so that I can also better understand them. Are you familiar with that, the attachment model theory?
Oo, ano,
Mm,
gosh, I forgot anong the archetypes. There's a lot of psychology has that, yung
mm,
ano, when we were babies, 'di ba? How attached or how secure we felt with our parents.
mhm,
Kasi usually yung masculine presence, our fathers are the protectors, and then those who provide nurture would be the feminine or the mother.
mhm.
Kailangan kumpleto yung dalawang yun.
Yeah.
Yung security and yung the nurturing that we receive. Whether it's coming from a father or mother, both has to be given to a baby. If not, there would be, yun nga, sabi mo nga, conditionings. May mga
Yeah.
conditionings na mangyayari that we carry up until adulthood. And that's the time na, syempre, we
Ang
go through
hirap.
stuff, 'di ba, na
Yeah.
aalisin yun. Aalisin yung conditioning because it's not, that's the software that's already outdated. It's not
Mm.
serving us anymore. So we need a new system. So in that, in that new system, kailangan alisin mo yung mga lumang software mo. So yun
And
yung nangyari.
ang hirap nun 'pag nag-rewire ka na, 'pag
Mm-mm,
nag-rewiring na, but the rewiring of the brain, rewiring of your pattern
mm-mm.
starts with awareness first, no?
Yes, yes.
Mag-aware. Kasi kung
Oo.
ignorant ka din or you don't really know what's happening, parang wala ding effect sa'yo. Pero again, when that pain comes in or when that discomfort comes in, I think that's a start of awareness. And
Mm-mm.
yun, kapit lang tayo besh pagka ganun na 'no, kasi hindi siya easy. Yeah.
Mm. Actually, in my own journey, I also start with the mind, eh. Kasi I also want to understand what's actually happening, 'di ba? Parang what's the
Mm.
science behind all of this, 'di ba? Parang ba't ba tayo may patterns? Ba't tayo may programming? Bakit ganyan? So it all starts with the mind. But in my journey,
Yeah.
na-realize ko rin na after the mind, there's still that higher consciousness or that higher
Mm.
power. So dun na pumapasok yung it's really the heart.
Right. Yeah.
'Di ba? It's really the heart that really gives more power to the changes or yung sa
Mhm.
spiritual side. Kasi yung sa mind, that's just the first step towards
Yeah.
transcending.
Mhm.
That's just the first step. So pag meron kasi mga iba na mga teachers na kilala ko, um, for them, being mental, it's such a negative thing. Kasi nandun na
Mhm.
sila sa higher consciousness eh. But, it's part of the process.
Yeah.
Allow the
Mhm.
person to through the journey. If the journey
Yes.
really entails to be very strong sa mind, let him, let her. Kasi eventually, in that process, mapupunta rin sila sa higher consciousness din, 'di ba? Papunta na rin doon
Mhm.
eh. So,
Yeah.
ganun din, even with me, kasi nagdaanan ko yun eh. So, I also remind myself, be kind, 'di ba? Kasi
Mhm.
pinagdaanan mo rin 'yan. No matter how fast or slow the pace of that person is,
Mhm.
you have to respect their pace. What's important is that they are actually growing as well and they are also transforming. It
Yeah.
it just so happens that it starts with the mind. Dun
Mm.
muna. And then eventually, aakit siya eh. Aakit ng level and then mag-expand rin yung consciousness. So, papunta doon.
Yeah.
So, I also remind myself to wag kang judgy.
Mm. Mm.
Respect the journey of other people as well. And
Yeah.
that's also something that I have recently learned. Ang daming learnings talaga
Mhm.
this year that amazes me. When I thought that I was already kind, when I was already compassionate, I I was surprised. There's actually more to love. There's actually more to be to compassion. There's
Mhm.
more to care. it's not what our mind just, may parameters kasi ang mind eh. May definition
Yeah.
si mind eh of what those are. But really, compassion, love, care, it's beyond the parameters of what our mind has actually set. And I
Right.
believe, Noel, you have expanded what love
Mm.
is for you, 'di ba? Yung sa
Yeah.
relationship, nag-grow na in a transcendental way. So,
Yeah.
I am sure that also made such a huge impact in your path
Yeah.
towards finding who you really are, yung totoong ikaw.
Yeah. Walking the truth. Yeah. Walking
Mm-mm,
my truth right now.
mm,
Yeah. And yun, interrelated lahat talaga sila. Um it starts, and I think that's you were talking about compassion, right? And a different kind of love coming from the heart instead of the mind. And that's, I think, a deeper way of doing relationship building, like having that compassion to other people as well without expecting in return, because the mind sometimes can be very transactional, like you give this, I get something out of that.
mm-mm.
But but when you go deeper and use the heart, they said, because the heart has its own intelligence as well, that's where I think you become, again, the relationship building happens, because it's honoring that person and seeing and hearing that person actually, even if you feel that your your stage is different, or you're in a different stage compared to the other person. So again, I'm not the person who's expert as well when it comes to relationship building, but I think it's a basic human principle of respect, right? And that's where you can actually um practice building relationship with others.
Oo nga. Kasi ang dami rin na, well, in your journey, ang dami rin kasing learnings. Where do you see yourself going with all
Mm-hmm.
the with all the important things that you have unlearned and
Mm-hmm.
relearned?
Mm-hmm.
Kasi yung love, alam na natin yun eh from the start eh, 'di ba? It's just that
Yeah.
we have to unlearn some parts of what we thought love was
Mm.
and
Wow, big word.
relearn new things about
Yes.
love. So,
Yeah, Shell, that's
sa'yo,
a
saan ka
big part.
papunta?
Yeah, that's a big part about love, because I mean, we were exposed with love according to Disney, right? There's nothing wrong about
Mm-mm,
like Prince Charming, your whoever, because those are things that influence us, because we watch those movies as well, no, about love and all of that. But as you undergo the process, and that's why the key is really learning and mastering your own self, although quite challenging, because your concept of love might be different to the movies that you're watching. The concept of how you feel love might be different from the parents that have shown you love. So that's why very customized lang talaga siya. And I was impacted as well of what love is, based on what I've seen, what I've read, and all of that. But now I'm slowly unlearning all of that as well. And hindi siya easy. It's a
mm-mm.
process.
Actually, the hardest nga is to unlearn what we thought we already know.
Mm.
Ayun. But now that you're in this, you know, process of transformation, 'di ba? Kasi it never ends eh, 'di ba? Yung
Yeah.
transformation na yan towards mastery,
Mm-hmm.
the things that you have, the new things that you learned about love, about relationships, how has this changed your relationships, your life per se?
Yeah. So I think before was that every time I have triggers, like if there are situations that trigger me, before, ang pag-iisip ko or my mindset is that also that person causes that caused the trigger. So that's why I'm reacting this way. Now I think every time I get triggered, I go inside myself and ask myself, "Hey, what's the reason why you're triggered? Is there something is there something inside of you that is still lacking? Is there something in there that you need to focus on because that causes the trigger?" So easier again said than done, but I felt that it's very empowering to go and understand the trigger within you versus pointing the finger to the other person and telling that person is causing the trigger. So I think that's one very simple but very challenging thing that also happened to me, and I'm still in the process of really doing that practice.
Pero maganda yan, nandiyan ka sa stage of self-inquiry.
Mm-hmm.
You're going back towards yourself when you have these questions. So
Yeah.
it's going inwards rather than trying to control what's outside na hindi naman talaga natin makontrol, di ba?
Yes. 'Di ba sinasabi niyan sa atin pero, sinasabi niya parati yan sa atin that
Min
you have no power with other people. Pero bakit parang ang ganda talaga pasukin 'no? It's so
mm.
good to be there to really change other people. Pero you'll realize that you cannot, no? The energy that you've used cannot really change other people. So that's why, like I'm also like I want to receive grace as well with that, to understand more and to be patient and to learn that I can't really change other people. It should really start within myself.
Yes, that's true. I completely agree with that. Kasi pag pinipilit mong magbago yung ibang tao, for me, in my experience, that's like just distracting myself from me, from my
Mm,
own personal um weaknesses or yung mga um yung mga kailangan kong issue na ayusin sa loob.
mm,
It's just a distraction to I'd rather look outwards so that I won't look what it and I won't deal with what's inside. So yun yung ginagawa ko before. But, right now, as I've said, respect the journey of others, di ba?
yeah,
I don't need to carry that karma or that energy anymore unless they specifically ask for my help, di ba? If they
right.
don't, then I have to respect that and, just give them words of motivation or uplift them or help them in whatever way that you can. Pero you cannot interfere
Mm,
with their learnings, with their journey. And that's
yeah.
something I also learned the hard way. But
Mm,
it's good that at least on our end, nag-a-align pa rin tayo. Di ba? Parang despite the fact that you're in Canada and I'm here in Manila, tapos we 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 haven't really talked often, but we catch up almost
mm,
every year. Tapos
right.
meron pa rin in alignment sa atin dalawa. Ang galing. I just love it. When you really meet someone who's part of your soul family, no
Mm-hmm.
matter how much the physical distance is or how rare that we talk to each other, there's
Mm,
still that connection because we're both in this path towards, you know, greater spirituality or greater mastery of the self, and it never ends. It's continuous. It's a continuous process of getting to know
yeah.
ourselves.
So you reminded me of my friend as well who lives in Vancouver. We have not spoken for like 3 years as well. But I think that's where the magic happens when you were able to find true friends and you were able to find your tribe. Because even if you have not spoken for a significant number of time, but once you have connected, it feels like you just spoke yesterday. And I think that's just the feeling. We have not like parang nag-catch up lang tayo kahapon, Shell, even if we have not even have spoken for ilang ano na, taon na pala.
'Di ba? Ang galing. Ang galing ng life. And I'm
Yeah.
really glad that you have said yes to this, to being here. Kasi yung mga sinasabi mo rin, it's also again a reflection of my journey, and I'm also getting more insights
Mhm.
from your sharings, from your story. And thank you for finally walking your truth.
Yes, yeah. Yeah,
Ayan, bumalik na. Nawala.
perfect. Yeah, sorry, Shell.
Oh, yes, you were
Yeah,
saying before
I,
we're already at the end, so it's also good.
yes. Yeah, I think what you said the last na parang thank you for walking your truth, no? That really impacted me somehow significantly because parang again, if I just go back to who I am as a gay person, a person working in the corporate world, a person who also values relationship and connecting with people, I think more than ever, it's important for me to be walking my truth because I think I was able to read the book as well that it's important for me to be truthful so that I can provide a platform as well for other people who are not yet ready to to see that yeah there is a platform or there is someone who can actually be truthful without having those issues about being judged and all of that. So I think what you said is very, very important because that reminded me again of how important me to be very transparent and to be walking my truth so I can provide as well a platform for other people out there to come out as well and to feel encouraged that it's okay to be who you are.
Diba ang ganda? Parang our own journeys, our own weaknesses, kung saan talaga tayo na-hurt the most, 'di ba? Yung at our
Yes.
weakest point, dun talaga tayo tatamaan, and that will be used to actually be the fuel that we can use to bring light to other people who are also going through similar experiences. And that's something that really amazes me up to now. I can I I I have witnessed so many people who really use their weaknesses as converted it into their strength to help others. And you're not alone in that journey. So that's why it's
Mhm.
also very, very important talaga to speak, not just to speak your truth, but to also, walk your truth.
Walk, yeah, and
You have to live
live the
it.
truth, right? Yeah, live
Mm-mm.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually ang ganda. That's the best, parting gift that we could ever
Give
give.
to
That
end the
to
season.
to end the season. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Noel, for, giving your time again and reconnecting with me. I love this conversation as usual. Di nawawala talaga yung joy when I talk to people I feel that who's really part of my soul family. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Noel.
Thank you very much again, also Shell, for inviting me over. And I think you're an epitome of a perfect example of how relationship grows no, through time. And quick trivia for all the people watching: Michelle and I have not met in person yet, but the relationship that we built, right? Virtually and all of that, like it transcends physical, like so I mean that I think gives hope, no, that that relationship really blossoms, no.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. I completely agree to that. But once again, thank you so much,
thank
Noel.
you,
I
Shell.
really, really
Yeah,
appreciate this. And of course, for the favored ones, I hope that you have also gained value from my conversation with Noel. And whether you're team live or team replay, share this, if you like the content. So that's it, everyone. God bless and take care. Thank you again, Noel.